Hello everyone, welcome to a ANS versus OSP game on the test branch. Team 1 in the blue trunks as we flip around the right way. We've got Jar, we've got Acceleraptor, we've got Gnome Remover, we've got Firebird, and we've got Wellspur. Facing off against them in the orange trunks OSP, we've got Jeremy, we've got Dr. Bladesteel, Void, Sammy, Classic, Star Fox, and Bubble Bathis. So this is going to be a 5 versus 5, 1,250 point game here on Winter Palace. Neutral point A, shooting gallery in the middle. We got top B point and then bottom C point here. Over on the sides, we've got D and E points. Noticeably, these are all neutral caps here, so there is no naturals for teams to easily aggress onto. It's going to be on them to decide where is the first cap that they're going to make and where are they going to push their aggression. Because you've got this kind of like plus or X-shape arrangement of cappers. You can sometimes see people push up towards the B and D side here, trying to cover both. You can see a heavy rush towards A. You can see people trying to split the map vertically and give up the sides. It's very interesting getting a full neutral map like this, which has a lot of cover to move yourself around. Everyone placing bets over-under on Yubliner and Carrier on OSP. We did ask both teams to hopefully bring along a Carrier, so with any luck, they follow instructions. The test branch does have some changes to strike craft, so we're going to see how they perform in kind of these craft versus craft engagements, hopefully getting the equivalent of some live test data that can be passed off to developer side, and then with any luck, the VOD and various recordings and stuff get used to make the game better, because we always want Nebulous to be the best possible product it could be, and, well, you can only do that by doing a bit of rigorous product testing, which is going to be us beating the snot out of each other as I cast things and make cat noises. Yippee. We do have container enthusiast Jeremy here, as we mentioned before. Gnome Remover also quite good on containers, which is very nice that we had both of them not on the same team, because OSP double boxes would be a very expressive amount of spam. Real question is whether it's 1 carry each or 5 per team. We did ask them to bring carriers. We don't know yet, so we'll see what they've got. Remember, this is stack versus stack. Both teams are on comms. They have coordinated their comps in the lobby beforehand, so with any luck, we get some good, balanced, Nebulous gameplay in that. Cat noise is a necessary part of the testing process? Yes, exactly. Look, as I understand, Liss, one of the developers for Nebulous, has a very nice cat, and I'd like to communicate with it and explain how to commit arson and deliver pipe bombs and stuff. This is just average cat versus cat conversations. I need to communicate these things in this feedback. It's very important. Speaking of, Spec Ops Starfall has requested the song of the people. All right, consider the following. If you're a cat, you know what that means. Anyway, 16 seconds to go. Both teams just waiting for one to ready up. Void is there, ready now. Acceleraptor, last one to hit that green button, probably deploying the last of their fleet. Now you're awake. Well, excellent. You have woken up just in time for some Nebulous fleet command. What do we got on the drop? We got a pair of Axfords coming in here. Hypnos is the name of one. Looks like 250 topside gun, 450 bottom side gun. I've been seeing more of this build, and I'm liking it. I've run this tech myself. I'm a big fan. Gets you RPF and a lot of high rate of fire Daka 8-kilometer gaming, and still the big gun here. All right, let's go through what we have in this build. We got Wellspur running the 250 topside, 450 bottom side defenders on the cheeks, and then Chaff Box on here. Got a pair of Raider drives in this thing, very evasive. Has a Strikecraft platform on the back. Interesting. Got a pair of skiffs in that thing, doing some scouting. Double Raider drive on these. Spyglass on the one, Parallax the other, I believe it was, right? Yep, Parallax in the snoot there. Nice stuff. Frontline Brawler Axfords. Acceleraptor up here has got themselves classic 450 Axfords with some of those secondary batteries here, the Mark 62s. Not a full Greedford, not completely giving up its point defense turrets, but still having a bit of some nice stuff there. See, they've got a friend accompanying it with a size 2 backpack, has some contra-active decoys, and a couple of those SGM classics. The Olive Garden Supreme. If I had to guess, that's a name for a breadstick. Bren, if you're in chat and you know what you've created, there we are. So, yeah, Axfords galore, as we're going to see now Firebird also running Axfords here. 450 on the front of these things. Flak and Defender on the cheeks here. Size 2 backpack on one. Comms jammer on the other. Let's check the, where is it? Proud Veil here has, yep, bunch of active decoys. Raider drives as well. Yep, Raider. Ooh, double Raider and a Whiplash. Gonna be going very cool here. You believe in Gnome? Interesting tech. Ahaha. Yep, Bren, you know what you've done. Anyways, Gnome Remover coming in here with a double Levy fleet. Gonna see a lot of bombers on this. Yep, dozen bombers queuing up for flight, as well as having some of these interceptors. I believe this might have been an export from, what was it? Snipes last game, I think, had this one. Yeah, so we'll see if these end up getting used the same way or not. That is some nasty support. Lastly, Jar running Carrier and Beam. Interesting on this thing. Okay, a couple of fighters and some skiffs here, as well as having, I think it's just a size 2 launchers on the side, right? Yeah, a couple of hybrids here. Interesting. Sniffer missiles, kind of cool stuff. Then they're going to round it out with, looks like, some Mark 62 and gun. Okay, yeah, Mark 62, Defender, Mark 62, Defender. Another one of those, another, and lastly another. Okay, so 5 Mark 62 just defenders in that. That's kind of fun. What are they on about here? Which ships overlay? They're just talking about getting the tab thing going. Yeah, it's we have carrier at home. You've seen this before for the Axford's style. They can get a missile launcher platform, or they can get a strike craft pad here. So kind of interesting to see. A little bit creatured, but at the same time, we're kind of here for these experimental builds. Nice to see some people messing around with some new tech. Anyways, Axford heavy on the ANS side, having a total of 7 of those. One of them kind of a backliner, but still. Backliner goalie tool. Anyways, what's the OSP brought to counter it? Bulbabathis, following instructions as requested, getting themselves a carrier. I asked for some carrier versus carrier gameplay so we could watch how good Strikecraft are. We see the no loads bard here is loaded up. Bunch of sturgeon bombers, bunch of barracudas as well. Got some pikes here to try and do some scouting duty. Sniffer and what's the Sniffer and Spy as some skiffs there, able to get out onto the battle space and do some scouting. These guys, I believe, will have that EO targeting pod there. Very good. There we go. People figuring out how to press the tab thing, which cycles your UI like so. Excellent. We have recovered that problem. Shout at me over here, bringing along a plasma cello. Okay, Aurora's Pavis on this thing as well, keeping that bullseye and comms jammer going. Chaff box on the tail, Dazzler up top. Nice stuff. And if I had to guess, yep, Jeremy has got the we've seen this build plasma cello as a can opener, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of these little gun shuttles. 2 of those do have jammers in there, so that's going to be a whole bunch of Daka. But anyways, let's see. One of the players can't issue move orders. Oh, okay, so apparently something fixed it. Not sure what that was, but looks good. Pad Beamford isn't the worst idea. Yeah, it's an interesting tech, seeing how that goes. Delicious ketchup and mustard carrier. It did have a very nice paint scheme, didn't it? The no loads bar down here. Got that McDonald's carrier. Very nice. All right, anyways, still angry Plasmacello exists. Well, unfortunately, it works kind of as a can opener. It's a weird creature tech that was throwing like in the last patch, but now with a couple of changes over and more 100 mil on the field, this thing is actually finding its place in the meta, which is kind of cool to see. It's weird, but I kind of like it. Anyways, what else is on the battle space right now? We've got Dr. Bladesteel, Early Warning, and Bloodhound on this thing. Little CIA device, has Intel Center, able to see enemies off of the T-30 there as well. Take a look. Let's see who is capping what. Initial cap for the B point going to be going off top of the map. We see Jar rush themselves forwards here. Is going to walk into a whole bunch of Dakas. Jeremy's going to unload all the T20s and jams on that. Unfortunately, only Early Warning track right now. You can see it by the dancing around there. We got to get through these fast. Let's go. Right, so we have the CIA monitor over here keeping tabs on things. We've got a container stack launcher C90 device just meant here to provide goal keeping. Can't really kill this thing with any light guns, have to use missiles or something bigger, and even then it's got a good damage thresholding with the CIC here in the C90. So pretty resilient little brick, kind of like it as a cap guard. C90 can get clowned on a little bit by good rotations with T20s provide good defenses. Going to see another one on the other side of the map overwatching the C point down here, so E and C covered by those. Bladesteel in the back here with a electronic warfare support device has jamming, kind of omni jamming on this, having both comms jammers, radar jammers, and the Dazzler in the nose there. So cool device there. Tug over here, similar story on that one, just kind of hanging out in the backfield for the moment. And then lastly, we're going to see they've got T20 capper on the E point, T20 capper going towards the C point. Going to be seeing off Jar's cheat here, which is having a bad go at life as all of the 100 mil opens up from Sammy over there. We'll get to Sammy in a second. Another 100 mil cap. Wait, 100 mil capper, 100 mil capper, 100 mil capper hanging out in the backfield, 100 mil capper hanging out on this deployment side here, and then lastly, one kind of hanging out down here. So a bunch of those 100 mil cappers, good effect on target. Jeremy opening up here, going to be seeing off Jar. Jar having low profile, meaning they're going to be trying to get out of here. Firebird saying, oh, hello. Not sure what Firebird is recognizing. Might be seeing the massive swarm or something over there. Anyways. What was the next fleet? We had Sammy down here below. We've got a topsider here. Got those Obelisk Gamings going. Got 4 plasma turrets. Got some C53 250 casemates on this thing. And then some T30s for extra DACA. That's going to be some fun stuff there. Going to see another one of them accompanying it over on the other side here. This one, I like this tech. So one of these is going to be broadside C56s. The other one, just the Obelisk. This thing has plasma as a backpack, so it can roll 90 degrees, get the plasma shots, and then roll back, firing its 250 calibers. Kind of a cool tech there from Sammy. Last ship in the fleet, going to be another one of these Omni Dazzler devices. Actually, never mind. This has just radar jammers and then the Dazzler in the nose. Take a look at the map as things deploy. A point is neutral. Nobody going for it, knowing that is going to be a shooting gallery. B point was capped, but Jeremy seeing off that vessel before it could unfortunately... Oh, no, actually, it's fine. It's down below on the map here. This one from Jar, that was seen off by Sammy. That's what I was trying to say. A couple of fighters here from Gnome Remover, kind of keeping the enemy honest, deploying these in reserves here, looking to intercept any light fighters they could find around the map that were caught unaware. See, we covered Sammy. Lastly, we have a Void fielding 450 bulkers here, rolling the wrong way right now, have to get themselves oriented correctly. And we see that they've got 1 and 2 of them. 450 with some T20 secondaries deploying across this kind of lower part of the map here, divided between A and C side. You see they've got a Bloodhound up top, keeping that B point honest with the scan. Also got an early warning here. So interesting deployment, kind of splitting their assets off here. Typically we'd see these working together a little bit more, but anyways, Furball allegedly starting up at the bottom of the map as Jackal Flight gets close enough to Spectre to think about it. Game a little confused about whether these are engaging or not. Spectre Flight does not have very many long-range munitions. In fact, none at all. Just going for saw bombing here, using those Illuminator pods on one of these things, Jammer on the other. That's a... Oop, that's me flicking to the wrong thing. That's a cute little mix here, using the Jammer here to try and intercept missiles, and then 3 of them illuminating to hit them with size 1 missiles. Cute little 4 flight here, trying to do that fighter bombing, going for light ship hunting. Potentially picks off a little Corvette like this over here. Not a Corvette, that's a shuttle. What am I saying? Sorry, cat on the keyboard? Well, tell them in turn I also said pound symbol. There you go. Kids call it a hashtag, but I call it a pound symbol because that's what it is, dang it. Helios Flight hanging out here on the A point, keeping it neutral, making sure that nothing wants to wander over here. Could potentially be taxed by some 100 mil fire, but we will see if that happens or not. D point is pushed up onto here. We're going to see Hunter Flight moving over. This thing has a bunch of size 2 ACT basic missiles and some Spearfish R3s. Interesting payload complement there. These can be very easily soft-killed with chaff, but at the same time, that is missiles that you may have to deal with. Okay, here we go. We see these Olive Garden Supremes. These are the breadsticks designed by Vren and then taken by the community and sent forwards. If you want to see how these things work, you can check out my YouTube video describing the various missiles there. I think it's Missile Talks with Vren and Mathblob are the 2 that you'll want to look into, but yeah. All right, we got some interception going down here. These should be enough to one-shot one of these bombers on impact. Let's see if they do or not. These things are juking around very weirdly. Unfortunately, running out of fuel there, I think. Yeah, just shy of the fuel range. Dang, that's unfortunate. So, Zed fired them. Yep, fired them off early, tried to get the intercept. Did see the enemy off, forced them to go evasive there and not engage. Jeremy pushing across the top of the map here onto the B point, uncontested here with all of this shuttle 100 mil. That is going to require a dedicated force to answer it. And in terms of answers, what is the OSP like really afraid of with this, right? Like the ANS has got themselves up here a pair of 450 bulkers, not bulkers, 450 Axfords. God, I've been streaming a while today. 450 Axfords are not going to do anything against a swarm like that. At the same time, that swarm's not going to do anything against it. Okay, here we go. Fighters on intercept. Yep, looking to immediately splash some of those. There we go. Wasp and Stinger flights engage. That is going to be a good kill there. Unfortunately, losing Dudlord in the spectator slot there. See Jar down below here. We're going to flick over to. There's the fighters engaging. Bombers trying it as well. They had gotten some of the torpedoes off. Does not look like they got impact on target here, I don't think. No, looks like they're going to be seen off. Oop, there's me flicking again with that F target track thing. All right, yep, good intercepts here. Bombers tried the waters and were found wanting. The fighter coverage combined with the bulkers being in position is going to see off the ANS on the bottom side of the map. Looking at the current positions, ANS just widely giving up the bottom half of this map here, going to be playing towards the mid and top side once they get their stuff together. Carriers are trying to get enough flights airborne that they can actually have an effect on these heavy point defense screens. We see some bombers and fighters already lurking in the wings here, just trying to wait for somebody to make a mistake so they can commit. Oh no! Helios flight over here, the unarmed skiff that couldn't, trying to fly into a wall, apparently. Pilot, what are you doing? Apparently engaged in combat here, trying to get into close quarters, but Spectre flight not sure what it wants to do either. A little bit of bugginess going on there. Helios, what are you doing, sir? Okay, decides it's disengaging and actually moving back home. Weird little quirks going on. That happens sometimes. Fightercraft are a little bit jankier there, but we just get a couple quirks and still being worked out and figured out. All right. Here comes some missiles. Let's see what these end up impacting, seeing the enemy down below the map here. Yeah, fight that rock. Smack it with your nose. That's perfect. Anyways, these are going to be a bunch of these sniffer missiles. These are ARAD ACT with, I don't believe, no support modules in these because it's just 2 slots for the noses there. Still can see some of these sniffer missiles potentially find a undefended ship down here. We'll see hybrids are still effective at getting to conventional point defense screens of the OSP. So going to see if these find impact on target. You see them feathered a little bit here, trying to sniff around like their name would imply, find out where the enemy is. 100 mil flak going to be doing a number on these as they have not staged yet, so that will be a 2-tap kill there in a moment. We'll see if one of these able to find anything or not. Does find the chaff. Unfortunately, Grazer going to see that thing off. There we go. So sniffers do sniff the waters, and unfortunately, they're going to find that there is a lot of point defense screening right there. 100 mil guns are 2-tap kills now, although the radius explosion is much smaller, so that to be a little bit more precise and wait for the missile to get closer to hit them, but very cat behavior from that halberd, basically what my roommate's cat does. Understandable. I mean, you can headbutt a wall a little bit as a treat, you know, just let them live their life. All right. So let's take a look at the board right now. ANS has a lot of frontline beef that they can commit, and they've also got Gnome Remover with 2 levies worth of strike crafts. Question is, what do they do with it? It is currently a 3 cap for the OSP. We're only about 100 points into the game. D point is the only one capped currently by the ANS. They have given up the bottom of the map. They can now commit to some of these other engagements. Void talking about size 2 hybrid moment down there as just a bunch of size 2 hybrids were sent and then deflected because, as it turns out, they have a pretty good point defense screen here. Combination of the 100 mil flak guns there, when not engaged with other craft, are able to do that dual purpose role of seeing off some of the size 2 hybrids, which are fairly fragile, all things considered. Same time, they've also got the point defense options of, where is it? They've got like the swing arm launcher here for potentially a intercepting missile. I think one of these had a grazer. I just can't see where that is. It was on here somewhere. I saw it fire. Oh, there it is. Grazer on that side mount there. So has some nice point defense. Corvette, let's see if it can grab a point. Let's see if it does or not. Zardal, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Anyways, Jar attempting an A-cap here. What is currently overwatching and providing fire support? We see over here, Wellspur is keeping the enemy honest. Again, the Mark 65 is also dual purpose, so you can use RPF rounds to see off enemy missile threats potentially, or take out one of their shuttles if it walks onto this A point. Jar is, I think, going undetected doing this. Where are they on the board? There's so many tracks here. Okay, this is the... Yeah, currently undetected here. The Road Perts does not have its radar detected chevron, so it's just going to be walking onto the point here, and I think collecting this for free. OSP out of position, not realizing that there is something on the A point as their sensor awareness has been going elsewhere. Ooh, fighter combat kicking off up top. Here we go. Wasp Flight coming in with those coil guns, almost out of ammo. 20 mil also committing here, so they push back the enemy Barracuda flight, which does not appear to be engaging the enemy. They're not authorized to use their guns. Oh no, what has happened here? You need to commit yourself onto this fight. Why are you... You must have deauthorized your guns by accident or something. Oh no, that is going to be a big fight here. Yeah, Barracuda is not able to fight back there due to, I believe, a lapse of micro or weird targeting order there. Barracuda is just going to get splashed handily by these fighters into the backfield. At the same time, this is now putting a bunch of fighters in the backfield. We see intercepting flights returning now. Spectre flight is airborne. Sunder has something to say about it as well. This is going to be a big outnumbering advantage here with the Barracudas. Bunch of the ANS fighters have already used their weapons complement. See, their ammunition is looking pretty low. They have to get out of here and soon. Coil guns are depleted. Coil guns are quite good, as we saw, but still, without the ability to defend yourself, you got some of these missiles, ARAD and Wake, but unfortunately now getting jumped on as the counter attack comes here. This is the risk of moving across the map line. So Wasp Flight trying to return to base is bingo on ammunition. Unfortunately, SDM's going to be saying something about that. Here we go. Expensive SDM with a CMD Seeker there. Yeah. Fighters got an initial advantage there, but now having a bad time. Dragoon headed to 450 liners by sea. We'll see that after this furball finishes up there. Just going to be a total cleanup as the Barracudas will take these overextended fighters. Do not want to be pushing past the neutral point so far like that. Oh, the sudden upset here as a singular Pike going to get into the mix with his 20 mil nose gun. Can't quite decide where it wants to sit. What the fluff is going on here? Okay. It ties them up because it forces them into evade, thinking that they are engaged in combat. So Singular Pike, the hero, intercepting this, trying to go for the kills. Can he make it happen? 20 mil nose gun, you hero, go for them. You've got a lock. A little bit of desync there. Splashes 2 of them already. Splashes 3. The Pike that could splinter, you hero. Streak Flight is amazing gaming there as unprotected bombers are going to find a singular fighter is really good with that 20 mil nose gun. Pikes, pikes, pikes. Chat, can we get some of those dancing pike emotes for our boy here in Splinter Flight? Look at this hero. Oh, he's a green one. I don't have a green pike. Ah, woohoo. Singular fighter is all you need to see off bombers. Bombers are undefended, and you have to run a flight along with them to act as that kind of screening. Otherwise, you will get picked off like that. Woohoo. Singular Pike Void calling out there, and I think that Gnome knows it, just realizing, oh man, I should have sent a wing of fighters along with that. Just one singular attack. Yep, I saw that one. That's one for the record book. I have no idea what is happening there, but is clearly there's something quirky going on. Anyways, Illuminators are authorized. Are these going to be HE frag? They are. Not using the Saw Seeker. Anyways, name a thing Pike, Pike, Pike. Yes, we have named that ship Pike, Pike, Pike. Come on, somebody is a subscriber. Show me those Pike emotes. Anyways, a couple of exchanges going off here. Jackal Flight flying evasively, but starting to get back up on target. Now has those guns available using these CMD missiles as well from the SDMs. Noticeably, the flechette rounds are incredibly expensive on test right now. They are 5 times as expensive as they were on live. So, yeah, fighters are a little bit quirky right now, as we're seeing with this. Noticeably, it's not just me who's noticing this. That's a lot of noticing, but anyways, so clearly something a little bit weird going on with server and like client-side sync, or if there's just some weird evasive pattern that they're trying to do. A bunch of gunshots going off here, bouncing against the rocks. Whole bunch of deflections there as the 20 mil guns are trying to splash enemies. There we go. So Tantos handily cleaning that one up, as it looks like the Barracudas were not finding the fight they wanted. Eagle Flight instead jumping on them with some superior munitions and just wrecking through their numbers. Nice to see. That opens the way for these bombers here. Assassin and Bombard Flight building up into a big strike. That is 11 torpedoes times 2. Makes 22. That is a lot of torp to go. Whew. Maybe Octree's too close. Maybe. We noticed this a couple of other times. Fightercraft is getting a little bit too quirky, acting unwise. Anyways, take a look across the battle space proper. We're seeing B point here was... where is B point, actually? B point up top here, being flipped. Jar sensing opportunity. Jeremy ready to pounce here with these small T-20 shuttles. Are they going to get the attack order? Jeremy might be asleep at the wheel. Begone, Fairy Blob, says Firebird as he's trying to move up here using their guns. Unfortunately, the 450 is not really going to do much against these. Is more for show than anything else. If these realize that there's just a... Yep, there we go. Starting to open up with the flak rounds. Needs to swap over to HE, and soon we'll see the initial aggression go through and do nothing because flak round doesn't damage a craft or a ship like that. Anyways, a lot of stuff happening along both angles of the map right now. Let's see. We have the bombers here split off once again by the looks of it, trying to send a flight of 4 of them to attack a liner over here. Oh, song the people as you demand. Let's see if Bombard Flight is able to get themselves onto this Bulker Acre and gun number 2 over here. Void is doing pretty good. There we go. Gnome figuring out that, yes, intercepting fighters not going to let our hero Pike 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 over here live. At the same time, Pike 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 is so evasive. Look at him go. He's just dodging. That's got to be desync. They were aiming at the weirdest spot. Anyways, how is he still alive? The Mad Lad, the hero. Anyways, torpedoes out. Ahoy. Woo! Reactor Bloom in the background. A whole bunch of those seduced by chaff instead. Nice to see. Good evasion there. Oh my god, the Pikes are still alive. Streak, you hero! Splinter, you amazing lad! You're chasing down bombers and fighters! You mad lad, you! You can't keep getting away with this! What the hell is this movement? Okay, there's clearly something going on with client desyncs here. We might have to take a little look at this one. Oh no, unfortunately our hero does bite the dust there, but not before splashing like a couple of fighters and bombers, I think. God damn, cool. All right, yeah, so that's interesting. I think that we might need a little bit more tuning for some of those like fighter craft optimizations and pathing things, because that's a little bit quirky as it turns out, and this is on a dedicated server. It's not just me seeing this. So Sunderflight gonna have words with Waspflight over here. Waspflight already pretty beat up, missing a bunch of their no, already just used up their missiles, not missing them. My bad. Anyways, on this side, Void now engaging in 450 war. Wellspur starting to say something as their guns begin to bark against the bulkers there. Let's take a look at the map. 3 cap is secured for the ANS. 2 caps for the OSP. OSP ahead a little bit on the points. More fighter balls commencing here as we see Spectre Flight 6 versus 4 on Strife Flight. Strife Flight does not have the munitions they want for this. They have kitted themselves up for anti-warship and are just going to get smacked. There we go. Soon as rear aspect is spotted, all the fighters just say, oh, real shit, and hit the wake missile button. That's going to be Strife Flight getting the floor wiped with them. We see that Spectre Flight here decided to bring anti-craft munitions, and unfortunately the flight against them was bringing the anti-warship, so that's going to be a decided fight there. Still some STMs coming in here, maybe saying something about it. No, that's a breadstick, unfortunately not finding target. Darn. All right, more furball here as the bomber's pulling back. Sunderflight smells blood in the water, trying to intercept here. A couple of those RPF rounds going to splash into this. Going to see off some of these fighters, as well as Eagle Flight starting to intercept now. Fairly even gunfights kind of going on here as both teams starting to aggress here. Kind of nice to see a less amount of flechette spam. I don't necessarily know if this is going to be the magical answer of, hey, let's just kill off flechette rounds, or let's try and mix up the variety in the game. But still, seeing these even kind of fighter brawls break out as small advantages are worked is quite refreshing. So, and it's able to save their bombers. Good intercept there, and the capital guns providing support. Still, those capitals now in a world of trouble as suddenly Sammy comes around the corner here. Plasma is barking. That's 8. Yeah, that's 8 plasma turrets that is going to bark here real quick. We'll see the broadside guns fire, and then they're going to cease fire, roll this thing, get its plasma out on target, and then see what impact they can have. Hypnos taking it like a hero here, although those plasma shots starting to add up, seeing the various softer components getting knocked out first. That's going to be now the smaller caliber bullets able to get through that Axford armor. Woo! Axford's pulling wide. Yep, the Axfords are on Safari over here. Acceleraptor looking to get into the backfield of the enemy team, holding this D-side and B-side flank. Still a little bit outside here. Jar is their forward scout, trying to find something that they can jump on. Looking for that carrier, knowing how many fighter craft are on the board is important. Oop, my phone battery thing apparently on low power. No, never mind. That's not a problem. I have to go to low battery VTuber mode. Don't worry about that. 450s ahoy, trying to see off this little shuttle over here. Unfortunately, it is a small target and not getting the best effect. That said, the forward scout here from Jar is going to be doing that. Love seeing this frontline and Cap Fleet synergy, getting the Cap Fleet up front to scout these things out. Ruby Flight is dispatched now, has a bunch of these Saw HE-shaped missiles. Going to be trying to intercept this thing. We'll flick back to the frontline fight. I just want to show us some of the Strikecraft stuff. I'm loving seeing the variety we're getting from this. We got carrier on carrier, both sides trying to do strikes, take out big assets with torpedoes, take out light assets using this S1 spam style with illuminators. Very cool to see the variety we're getting. We're going to see if it is able to get through. No chaff on this thing, just defender, so potential weakness there. We'll see if chaff would make the difference or not. Chaff plus illuminator is a pretty good way of protecting yourself, so going to see how these missiles go off here. Illumination ahoy. Defender is going to be okay against the first couple of them. How many more do they send in? Defender deflects a first couple, but unfortunately, no. Wham, 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 wham. There's the HEI impact. Normally, we just see rocket strikes, but this tech now of the size 1s and the illuminators, kind of cool here. Liking that one. Oh, no, we lost friend. Unfortunate, but... All right. Back towards the A side, frontline fight commences. The Hypnos is taking more and more plasma hits, stripping off its front side armor. I think 1 or 2 of them might have found its way into the Thanatos over here, so... That's going to be a nasty amount of plasma adding up over time. Plasma damage you can't undo, so anytime you get hit by that, you're going to have trouble. Oops, a bunch of the spectators are dropping out here. Not sure if that's a performance issue or just the server going, whoa. Anyways, 450 broadside as well. Going to be a 2v1 fight. These Axfords do not want to find themselves in that 450 and T20 secondary battery, plus the plasma in 250 over here going to be doing significant effect on target. Just got invited to a match. Okay, good. The spectators are hopping into their own match, so we're getting even more test games up. Love to see more testing data so we can make the best possible game of Nebulous ever. Shout out me having a say here, as it looks like Firebird, yep, got a little bit plasma here. The Plascello coming over here. This is, what is this? Jazz is like the new, I don't know if I can say that word on Twitch. Anyways, the Jazz over here is going to be firing its plasma guns, trying to strip off the nose of Firebird, who takes a little bit of plasma scorch damage across the ship here. Not anything significant, though. 100 mil having a rough go at getting through this. I don't believe these have 100 mil AP rounds, do they? No. Unfortunately, no AP rounds found in here, so unable to tickle the armor of the Axfords here. Needs to wait for that cannon opener to deliver itself. Still, major frontline engagement as the OSP is swung around over here, trying to be fighting against Wellspur here. Wellspur taking pretty significant damage on the Hypnos now. That plasma added up and the 450 as well. Going to be seeing this thing having a really rough go at it. Magazine is out and all the other modules are getting redded out as well. A couple of them fully grayed. Thanatos doing pretty well, but needs to work on their engagement ranges. Taking a 2v1 like this is never something you want to be doing unless you are able to hold on for a prohibitively long amount of time. Let's look in the meantime what is being set up in the backfield here. We see Gnome knows that their ally is having trouble, needs to be getting some of their craft airborne. Looks like a bunch of them now launching with torpedoes, trying to queue up their next strike. Should see more and more fighter craft being built up here. Breacher Flight already did its attack run by the looks of it. Fury kind of hanging out here. Whew, well, voice crack. Ugh. All right, just have to look over the redeems. I missed a couple of them, but we'll just register that. Okay. So what were we looking at just a second ago before I got distracted by Twitch? Right, B point aggression going off here, A point aggression going down as both sides are squaring off. C point looking pretty comfortably handled there. The Holy Wafer here trying to do Guardian duty on the bottom side of the map using that beam and then some of its strikecraft mountings able to provide scouting. Where is, let's see, Jar has not actually launched their craft there, so potentially asleep at the wheel for that one, just forgetting about it. Still, again, there's a lot of things you have to remember when you have a Nebulous match. Getting perfect micro is something that you can do on paper, but when you have the actual practicalities of the enemy team trying to beat the snot out of you, you'll make some mistakes and see various things done differently. It's very interesting to see these players collide with each other and then try and put as much pressure on as they can to force a mistake to then punish. Speaking of punish, the Plasma Acello getting caught in the broadside over here as a Celeraptor Safari adventure pays off. Finding this Acello very tough from the front, but not so much from the side. Seeing those shots starting to land at the center stack here, hitting those boosted reactors and Raider Drive as well. Front of the Acello is missing as it got smacked around pretty good by Firebird's dual Axfords over there. So ANS putting pressure on this lane of the map here, also holding on to the middle of the map as well as they can. Still 2 versus 1 here, as unfortunately Hypnos has gone down. Thanatos is going to start getting cooked away at here. Spec Ops Starfall, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follow. Plasma and 100 mil fire continuing here. Hypnos has popped its first life pods. OSP should realize in a second that this is a dead ship and retask their guns, which means that this Axford over here having a rough go at life. Needs to be supported by its fellow Axfords or its support bombing fleets. Let's see what is available. Cascade Flight looking like they're going for a run here. At the same time, we see good posturing here from the carrier player Bubble Bathist. Voodoo Flight on standby, ready with intercept. Oh no! Oh no! Forgot to equip 20 mil ammo. Are they out of ammunition on this thing? No, they still have ammunition. Maybe used up all their gun ammo, or maybe it was a loadout error or something. Hard to say on that one. Has a bunch of these Wake Seeker missiles able to punch ships once they are forced to evade. Might want some Act missiles there to force that evade. But in turn, a little bit of a loadout error there, I think, just not equipping the 20 mil ammo. That's going to mean Cascade Flight is got free opportunities to jump in here, as there will be no intercept flight to attack them back. This could be pretty big if these torpedo bombers are able to get on target. There's not the most in terms of intercept there. Oh, SNMX Imperial, thank you for the follow. Sunderflight here and Fury as well, coming back to provide those intercepting protections. Once again, we're seeing fighter cover providing protection for your bombers. Ooh, here we go. Simultaneous strike. Yes, the coordination is called through. We've seen these Axewords able to hold the enemy in place long enough for some coordination. Should see these missiles flick over here in a second. Please don't hit the rock. That'd be very sad. Hybrids along with some of these torpedo bombers coming in for intercept. Voodoo Flight trying to get something done here, but unfortunately not nearly enough. Seeing some 100 mil grape shot going off there trying to intercept. There we go. Torps out in the water. Going to be seeing these things going on target. These are act with Wake Val. Unfortunately, wrong end of the Bulker pointed at us. Going to probably be going after Chaff here. That's a lot of torpedo dumpage. Still going to detect some of them. No, Pavis cleans them up. Soft kill takes the rest. There we go. Good interception and deflection. Wake Validators, very powerful if you catch the Axewords. Not the Axewords. Well, Axewords too, but if you can catch a warship like a Bulker with the aft section towards you, then you can validate on that. Unfortunately, have to be paying attention when you're doing your strike planning. Which direction is the nose of the Bulker facing, and are they going to be pointing that at you? Take a look over here. We're going to see these Bulkers as well have their aft sections facing away. Tanto is wandering a little close into point defense range there, trying to pick off Voodoo Flight, but having a rough go at life as they go against that. Dr. Bladesteel commenting now, recognizing the ANS's comp of oops, all Axewords, 7 of them on the board. Okay, couple bombers here, unfortunately out of ammunition, needs to go back to base, has fired off its payload to no effect by the looks of it. So a lot of OSP power still on the board here as they're pushing up, trying to push towards that A point. We see the desperate run of the Thanatos trying to go to better waters here, looking for a pick off. Plasmacello up top from Jeremy has been picked off now. One of the little T-20 Capriciers as well. Jeremy just not able to get the engagement they really want for that. Now we see the dogfight sort of commencing over here, as I think Voodoo Flight is committed. Unfortunately, Bubble Bath is probably going to realize a loadout error here, just realizing that they do not have any 20 mil gun. Going to be wondering, why don't my fighters shoot at you? I think that's just a, like, error. They mean that's 5, so yeah. They've counted 5 of them. They don't know there's 7. Yeah, I think Voodoo Flight definitely has just a loadout error, forgetting to check that box of include 20 mil ammo, since we saw the carrier did, in fact, have enough ammunition to support them. Not anymore, though, as we're going to see the last of the fighters. They're going to be loaded up here in their pre-flight, right? Where's your Barracudas? Yep, they're kitting themselves up now. It's probably just one loadout was having an error there. Have to double check that. Flynn losing their connection there, or maybe hopping over to another lobby. We will see. All right, this is to 1250. I'm going to remind them. Reminder, this is to 1250. There we go. That should hopefully make sure that they are playing correctly. This is about the halfway point through, so coming up in that second half of the match now. Going to be interesting as they develop. Oh, sign the people request from Imperial by your command. There we go. That's the lovely meow meow of my peoples. And yeah, hoping my phone doesn't run out of battery, because I am realizing now I probably should have charged it before stream, because I was a doo-doo dodo head and forgot to do that. All right, Voodoo Flight continues staying on station here. Was confused what that was. Yes, that's the lovely Song of the People. Thank you very much. You asked for a meow. You got it. Anyways, we're seeing Jar moving over here, trying to aggress onto the E point. There is this T-30 equipped monitor here that could see that thing off if it detects it. Do they, though? Jar sneaking their way into the downtown region, trying to loop their way around, getting that E-cap off. Interesting. You're still not connecting. I refunded that Canuck redeem. I recognized that I had not done that one, so you get your channel points back. We can redeem that one later on if we so desire. Anyways, Acceleraptor hanging out here in the backfield, trying to tax out anything they can. We see over here Dr. Bladesteel having a rough time with that shuttle here. So, down below, we saw one of the cap guards was beamed, I believe. Yeah, so Jar just sweeping through here. Good cap control from Jar, being able to be aware of the board and moving up their various assets where the enemy front line is not. This beam Axford requiring a dedicated answer to it, probably in the form of bombers, since it's not the heaviest on point defense. Still, though, that's a significant threat. Capping the C point there, putting ANS onto that 3-cap situation. Voodoo Flight has engaged here. Still, though, no ammunition on these things, and I think just wasn't realized by the carrier player. That's really unfortunate. Seeing Sunder and Joker Flights coming down here. Again, the weird little juking zigzag, and I'm not sure if that's just a performance thing to try and, like, improve the, like, desync errors that occasionally happen or not, or if that's just, like, the way fighter craft move now. Look at that guy go. Woo! He's just hopping all over the place. Anyways, it's an Octree error. All right, well, at least we figured out some things about that. Okay, here we go. Some more of those 100 mil flak rounds going off. Notice a couple of those things detonating and they do not actually impact target. This is because the radius is much smaller, so ships can no longer just freely tax away at fighters that are lurking on the periphery here. If they're set to evade, they can handily evade a bunch of those shots, much as you would expect from a evade setting. A bunch of those flak rounds making these pilots maybe reconsider attacking in this area, but that's honestly a pretty good change. Still very effective in closer quarters and able to, if the enemy is on direct and not moving at all, get some damage dealt, but it's much more, I'd say just kind of fair because you don't just have this like 8-kilometer no-go zone around bulkers anymore. So nice to see that. Anyways, I might be saying something about all that flak damage. Okay, so one of these is pretty low, but still that's a dozen torpedoes loaded up and locked in. These are going to be act with Wake Val and going to be ARAD act. So we'll see what the intercept does. Fulcrum Flight over here has got a whole bunch of SAW HE missiles. So they're going to be trying to bomb something, going for that fighter bomber style. On the A point, we're going to see a bunch of these ships grouping back together, trying to exchange handshakes with the weird pull from Firebird up top there. Do they recognize the threat coming their way? They might a little too late, as their fighter screen has been depleted here. Need to have something over here to see off these bombers, as there's quite a few of them. Are these going to be in the rear arc of some of these ships? They might be. It's hard to say exactly with the way these bulkers move. They get a little quirky sometimes with the angling. This one having its thrusters firing off there. Oop, that's clipping into the rocks. Let's see if Wake Validator stays strong or not. Does have some Wake signature there, but there's, well, there's no... Oh, there we go. Thrusters firing again. Backfire Flight might say something about this and dump their payload. Let's see. Does this thing have its radars on or not? Does have radar on there. Can still see by that. All right. Torps out in the water. Do they recognize this threat? All right. Defenders, Pavis, whatever you want to call them. They're going to be firing off grazers as well. A couple of intercept missiles. I don't think that's going to work. Nope. Clock. That is some serious damage, crippling this thing as it slides itself behind cover there. So yeah, immediately structure broken, significant damage across the whole ship. Additionally, those 450 shells now opening up from Acceleraptor. Perfect gameplay right there, deciding a frontline fight. 450 going to immediately collect on that situation. They're recognizing, hey, this thing is crippled. Let's put the nail in the coffin with those big caliber rounds. That is wonderful to see. In turn, though, we're going to see some SAW dump going off here. No flak in turn to deflect this. Flak very effective. At the same time, chaff pretty good too, seducing half of that bombing run. A couple of these will find their way into the Axford. Axfords have tough armor, but it will get depleted with enough strikes. Not the most there. Craft still not updating ammunition count. Are they not? Hang on a second. Let's ask which, because Gnome says they're not. Let's take a look over here. I'm seeing correct ammo count on a bunch of these. I was working on Tantos earlier. Like, I think these are correct. Backfire Flight looks like it's spent here. You're saying your Claymores. Okay. Breacher Flight looks updated. They seem right to me. Huh, interesting. Maybe it's a thing on Gnome's side. Very peculiar. Okay, these have clearly got their payload set up, so that's odd. These have torpedoes. Weird. That's been a bug that was supposedly quashed, and it does seem to be working correctly from spectator side, so maybe Gnome has something weird going on there. Weird to say. Breacher and Backfire are showing his ammo. Bingo for us. Weird. All right. Bugulous. Again, this is why we test these things, so we can spot these problems and fix them. This is the whole reason that we do public test games, so we can get this very interesting fight happening that we see here, and also learn something in the process. All right, Firebird deciding it's time to go down and throw hands, eating a bunch of plasma for the trouble, but at the same time trying to push onto this A point here. We're going to see also over here Acceleraptor committing to this, so the Axford collapse from above and from the flank here, going to be pushing in a bunch of these bulkers here. Bulkers are pretty good, but they are not, like, 4 Axfords good. Ooh, Reactor Bloom as well in the backfield there. We saw that earlier on was getting set up when the torpedo strike hit. So now it's down to just 3 bulkers. One of them having a rough time is the Fat of Shell over there trying to find cover. Callum over here and Saltbrook going to be eating some more missiles on approach here. Demon Flight gets some torpedoes deployed. Not sure if any of those really got through. Looks like a couple impacts there. So seeing some good damage across the front. CIC is redded. Does have a backup though that can keep it going. Still though, all this 450 fire and the deciding hammer in with the torpedoes there going to be really pitching this fight. Bulkers can hold on for a little bit, but they want to be playing the peekaboo game, not taking these frontline sustained fights like the Axfords want to be taking, because Axfords just have really good repair rate and bow tanking ability. So yeah, Bulkers here going to be folded on the front line. Their ambush playstyle not being rewarded like it was earlier on, where they're able to jump a pair of Axfords in the middle of the map. Now just the ANS beef starting to swing through. ECAP is being flipped. Where is the ECAP? Over here. Yep, Jar on Safari able to find their way onto this back cap. Good cap play from the ANS, going for that 4-cap situation. OSP having a bit of a rough go. Cherami has lost their plasma ship and is down to just 3 of their little gun and capper shuttles, trying to find a position they can get onto. Looks like over here, Thanatos, having eaten a little bit of damage earlier in the game, is still pretty darn healthy. That Mark 65, a significant threat against these lighter assets, seeing them poking away at a wounded Bloodhound tug here. The Meow going to be suffering there as it's just alive on the basic and a drive, so. A-cap being pushed on here as the ANS says, you know what, we're just going to 5-cap you. Let's throw hands, decide this match. Going to be taxing all of these bulkers here. They have a lot of teams, they have a lot of restorers, but the question is, can they hold on long enough to use them? I don't think they are. And we're going to see a bunch more torpedoes launched out here. The Feats is pretty good still, able to seduce one of them onto the escort. Still two finding their way home into the chin of this. Is structure broken? Mag is going critical. This is going to be a dead ship here as the 450 puts that nail in the coffin. Love seeing the support play. Yes, thank you. This is what we want to see mixed factions doing. We get some fighters, we get some 450, we get these all together mixed into a lovely, like, I don't know, what do you even call this? Like a casserole souffle, something you call it. Void is calling GG, realizing the situation as unfortunately the ANS securing that 5-cap, having a good run at it. Still got to see some interesting gameplay going off here. Maybe OSP could have like done a little bit of their engagements differently. They got a great opening fight there, taking out an Axford. ANS managing to hold on to this side of the map and then collapsing into the middle, securing their big fight there as they collapse from multiple angles. Got a really good smack into him, but is the music scuffed? Ah, god damn it, stupid audio levels. All right, this occasionally happens as the audio goes wonky. Let me just make sure everything is working. Yeah, my audio is a little bit funky. Give me a second here. I have to fix this. One moment, please, chat. Okay, not quite sure why the audio is going kablooey there. Might be a system error. Anyways, that's going to be game over. Sorry if the audio was a little bit weird there. I had to quickly switch scenes over, which causes a whole cycle as it goes to the transitions page. Anyways, hopefully audio is okay now. Maybe yes, maybe no. I reset the system. I think it's okay, maybe. Advanced audio properties. Let's see if this thing is working or not. It only clonked at the end. Audio's fine now. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know why it does that. Still toying around with those audio settings. Sorry if you missed the final sections of that, but still got to see a great showing from the ANS, remembering that Axfords are, in fact, pretty good. Celeraptor going on Safari there. Firebird getting some nice fisticuffs. Gnome Remover with the double levy build. Maybe it's a build, maybe it's not. This is a very dedicated build towards doing a bunch of those kind of bomber plays, as it means you do not have a bunch of the air control assets like your Sarissa bricks or other devices like that. Still, it does get you quite a few strike craft. Interesting seeing the levy tech does this. You can run double levy, same way you can run a 3K levy. I do not personally think that it was the best loadout, but hey, it has gotten some usage here. We saw it able to deliver a lot of those bombs, although quite a few of the torpedoes did get soft killed there. Have to watch out your like wake validator angling there. Yeah, soft kill and then landing them up easily for hard kill. Interceptor flights were pretty cool there, but all right. The strange little Axford here in the cap fleet, kind of acting as a beam goalie with some of the support. Usually, if you see it with the topsiders there, it's going to have more missiles, but those were carried out on the sides there. Kind of cool to see. Wellspur aided on one of the Axfords, but luckily they were able to move away the Thanatos and then draw the enemy at frontline into the A point where they were in a shooting gallery. Let's see. What did we see on the OSP side? Carrier here was doing carrier things, able to get some Barracuda flights up. Sturgeons didn't get the most impact on target. Pretty light on the Sturgeons, all things considered, only having 13 of those, so not the same number you might expect from a just Moorline like this, because Moorlines tend to have a lot of craft. So, good number of Barracudas, some pikes for utility, as we saw there was a heroic pike in this game, the Sniffers and the Spies, so I don't know. I'm not sure if that was a good or a bad carry, because I don't know enough about the carry to say. The Spearfish rockets are more expensive, as of the Flechette pods. I don't know if we can get a proper ammo count readout on this thing. I don't think we can, so still, Cher and me having a rough time there, just unfortunately not finding anything for their shuttle blob and their can opener Acello to try and get into. Dr. Blade Seal engaging with a bit of their kind of capper warfare stuff, had some of these sort of goalies there that got hit by, I believe it was the ANS's front line just of Axfords. Yeah. How did their bombers get air superiority victory? They had some interesting stuff there. Because OSP forgore 20 mil ammo on one flight. That was unfortunate. I have to mention that to the carrier player. They can fix their loadouts and get that stuff going correctly, but it was kind of a funny moment realizing, oh no, they forgot to click 20 mil. Oh no, they're gonna not be able to intercept this. Oh no! Anyways, Sammy Classic Star Fox pulling out some respectable numbers. Void putting in a little bit of work as well with a 450. Not as big numbers as you might expect from 450, which can really bite into those Axfords now, but yeah, I think the ANS just kind of winning it there, picking a favorable engagement. Like I say in Neb, never take a fair fight. We saw Wellspur take an unfair fight there and hold on for long enough that they could call in for support. Axfords rotated from across the map. Bomber flights came in, gave them some relief. They did end up giving up one of their Axfords for it, but still was able to escape with the Thanatos and then win the game later on as the ANS was able to just smack a bunch of the various assets. All right, anyways. Let's just hop in and see if Discord audio is going to be scuffed or not. We'll find out. I think it goes crackly at some points, which is very annoying, but let's just check on this.
If you made them eland skiffs, you could get some spotting from the helipad expert.
All right, folks, just tune back in. How did we feel about that game?
I'm still trying to figure out how to use AN carriers, but it looks like the enemy carrier had a bit of a harder time.
Seeing some interesting gameplay on both sides there. Fightercraft doing some weird jank stuff. I gotta say,
Did you like the dancing pike? The dancing pike was really funny.
the dancing pike was hilarious. And Gnome, I'm sorry, man, but we got to see like one pike splash 4 of your bombers.
Paid the favor several times over.
Yep.
No, you didn't actually. I killed so many fucking bombers. It was great.
Yeah, I wrecked a bunch of bombs. Like, there was a couple of strikes where I was like, nope.
Yeah.
As
So-
an expert.
No. Like, what is it? I have breadsticks on this fleet.
Yep.
So, I killed 3 bombers with that. I killed another couple with Pavises of all things. I killed a bunch of Kuda, Cantos and things with that. And the one pike.
There was the
literally
one
killed
hero pike on
people.
C point that
One
was
hero
incredible.
pike.
I know.
It was beautiful.